Okay, so we're recording this session so people who want to watch these speeches can, and then they can give feedback through the Google Doc. Just make sure you put the speaker's name at the top when you're answering the 4 questions that I sent you to. It's called the practice speech checklist, and I sent it to your MyTCC email. All right, so Lucia, whenever you're ready, we are so excited to hear what you have to say about the environment.
Yeah, I choose building a new shopping mall. Okay, some people think that building new shopping mall it's like a big problem because it increase. I'm sorry, because it creates pollution, it creates noise, traffic, and high energy consumption and these kind of inconveniences. However, it also brings benefits for small or big cities. To begin with, I realized that um, building a new shopping center or new shopping mall has advantages or has some advantages and some disadvantages. Um, First of all, having a new shopping mall mm, improve the appearance of the cities of small for small towns or small cities or big towns or big cities. And in addition, the value of surrounding properties increase. For example, if we bought a house in, I don't know, uh, $100,000, the price will be higher for sure. I am sure that this happened. And what else? On the other hand, um, a new shopping mall will encourage us to spend more money, but as a result of this, a lot of people, or yes, many people can get a job as a result of this. And to sum up, I know that there are pros and cons of building new shopping center. And I believe that there are more advantages than disadvantages uh, of this. Yes, there are more advantages than disadvantages for building new shopping center in the city. And that's it. This is my opinion.
Okay, I'm giving you 2 thumbs up on that one. Good job. The length was really good. That was about 2.5 minutes. So that was really nice. I'm not going to say everything yet because I want to see what Alan thinks. But my first reaction was it seemed very well organized and clear, and I like your supporting points. Alan, tell us a couple of things. You know, we had 4 questions on the feedback. Just tell us you have there. What questions do you want to answer?
Yes. Well, what did the speaker do well? Well, I think she organized all the all the speech excellent, and uh, she was clear.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I couldn't find any counter argument, but I think it was just me, probably, that I couldn't find the counter argument, and no, nothing more. Just that she was clear. Oh, and another thing, she didn't read anything. Like Lucia knew what she was talking about.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good point. It sounded like she was reading something. And because what happens when you read is your voice gets very monotone and you read like this and it's kind of boring, right? But she kind of did a natural kind of speaking where her voice goes up and down. She had a couple of pauses, which is normal when you're not reading. Pausing and saying is okay. It's normal to do that when you're speaking. So don't feel weird when you have like a moment of silence. It's okay to have that. So that's really great feedback. Anything else? Did you notice any transitions or um,
Yes,
anything?
I could find some transition words like however,
Okay, good.
and what other. I listened. I listened more, but I forgot it. I
Right,
just
exactly.
remember however.
Right. And me too. I wrote some notes down, but I did not write any signposts down. So, Lucia, did you have some signposts? Like, did you say also or another reason, another advantage? Did you say anything
Um,
like that?
yes, I let me check. I think yes, but let me
And maybe Lon, I think Lon wants to say something.
Yes, thank you, sister. Thank you, teacher. Sorry. I heard her say that however to
Yes.
begin with.
Okay.
First of all, for example,
Okay.
yes, I know for five.
Okay. Thank you, because I forgot
However,
to write those down. So, however, to begin with,
first of
uh,
all,
or
for
before.
example,
Okay, thank you. So,
and I want to talk about her main idea.
okay,
Yes,
thank you, Lana.
uh, her her main idea is uh, she thinks that building the mall is big problem, right?
oh, okay, okay. In her opinion, we should not build a shopping mall. Is that her main idea, Lon?
It's not a big problem. Isn't like
Oh,
she said we should build
okay,
the mall.
right.
Yeah.
Yes, that is correct. Her main idea was that it's a good idea to build the shopping mall. But what I noticed, Lucia, was that the very first thing you did was you put your counter argument at the very beginning.
She said he think that she think that I think that.
Right.
Yeah.
And you said some people think that the shopping center is not good because it has pollution or noise. Um, but this is pretty much my only correction or suggestion to you, Lucia. I would start the speech with your main idea, your opinion. I would say something like, I believe we should build a shopping center in our city. and then start with the counter argument. Some people think a shopping center is not good. It creates pollution and noise, but I believe it has a lot more advantages and therefore we should build it or something like that. So you want to just come really at the beginning and just say your main idea, and then you can share the other side, the other opinion. So I would just switch those two. You did your counter argument first, and then you gave your main idea to your speech. I would put the main idea first, then the counter argument, and then continue with your points in your speech. And so I have 3 points that I wrote down about the shopping mall. And this is what I think is the best part of your speech. You gave us several really good ideas. You said the shopping mall improves the appearance of the town, property values increase, and there's more job opportunities. So I thought that was great. 3 is a magic number when you're giving speeches and when you're writing paragraphs. 3 is really the best if you can get 3 supporting points. And your summary sentence was really good too. At the very end, you very clearly said, yes, there are some disadvantages, but the advantages are greater, or there's more advantages. So I like that. So the last thing I want to share is pronunciation. So the word inconveniences, you pronounced the middle part of that word wrong. So can you say inconveniences?
Inconveniences.
Good. Inconveniences. And then the other word is bought.
Bought.
Right. You said like a boat. Like boat it has to be bought.
Bought.
Good. Like I bought. So that's the past tense for buy. All right. So that's what I have written down. Very good. I like that speech.
Thank you, teacher.
And Lucia, do you have anything else you want to say before we go to Alan? Any questions or comments? Okay. So good job. So now you get to switch and do the listening part. So you can open up your Google Doc and look at those 4 questions. And Alan, it's your turn. So whenever you're ready, we're here to listen.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I choose the question of what do you think is the best form of energy? Well, in my opinion, I think solar energy is the best option of energy resources. There are many cons of this kind of energy. First of all, the fact of the reduction or the elimination of an energy bill. That's awesome. And some people say that the solar energy isn't the best form of energy because the dependence of the weather. There are cloudy and cloudy days like in winter. However, you could save the energy of those warm and sunny days and use it when the solar power didn't produce energy for your home or whenever you want to use it. A second benefit, and in my opinion, the most helpful of this natural resource is that it is eco-friendly. It means that the solar energy is a pure energy taken from the sun. And well, it helps to the combat of gas emissions. In addition, it reduces our dependence with fossil fuels. Well, the traditional electricity is from fossil fuels, such gases, and when these natural gas or gases are burned to create or energy, that that they emit harmful gases, and that create pollution in our environment, in the air, and and it also hit the global warming change. On the other hand, there is the solar energy that is taken from the sun as a pure and clear natural resource of electricity, and it doesn't create pollution and some other benefits for our environment. In addition, there are another advantages, like the use of this clear energy. Another advantage could be like the technology development. The production of the solar energy is made from panels. I forgot the correct pronunciation. Uh, well, the production of the solar energy is made from panels that change the warmth of the sun to the use of electricity. Our communities could have an increment of technology if we increase the use of the solar panels to the use of the solar energy. And to sum up, the use of the solar energy is the best form of energy, in my opinion, that we could find. It made us save money, and the use of solar energy puts our communities at the front of the technology. In addition, we made a change to increase the pollution in our environment. That is my argument speech.
Good job, Alan. I feel like you're in an election or something. You want to vote for you. No, I totally speaking. I just see like in your future, just you working a business and a company and giving a presentation and helping your clients or customers. That's what I see in the future. So you guys are really, really doing great with this assignment.
Thank you.
Okay, so I wrote down some things on my paper, but I want to see what Lucia thinks, or Lon, if you feel like talking, Lon, or you can type if you want to, Lon. Overall, it's really, really good. Lucia, do you have anything that you'd like to share from those 4 questions on the feedback checklist?
Well, it was clear. It was really, really good for me. He used perfectly the signpost, the first of all, some people, this kind of.
Yeah.
They used perfectly. The idea was clear. That's it. Also, it was really, really
good. Do you remember if he shared a counter argument?
Counter. Yeah, I didn't write.
Do you just remember if he had one or not? Do you remember hearing it?
I remember that he used on the other hand.
Yes, he did use on the other hand.
Yes. What else?
Yes, he did give a counter the first sentence, but I think it was like maybe the third or fourth sentence. So he gave his main idea first. And you're correct. He had a good main idea. Solar energy is the best option. That's his main idea. Okay. Good. Well, Lan, if you want to share anything, raise your hand or you can type it or whatever you want to do.
Yes. I'm sorry. I don't understand him 100%, but I can hear that he says, first of all, how believe and on the other hand, and the argument, he says, some people think that solar energy, it, I don't remember.
Yes. Okay, but you heard
Yes.
good. And do you remember if he had a conclusion?
I don't understand all of them.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yes, he did have a conclusion and spoke really fast.
Yes, and he that I know that he very good with the idea, and like you said that he like sound very good, but
Yeah.
he like read he sound like reading than speaking. It's natural like Lucy is like speaking, but Alan sound like reading more.
Okay, so it was reading more. Well, we don't know for sure, but I did see a little bit. I mean, I could hear maybe some parts he was reading, but for the most part, I think he was not reading. It's to me, it sounded pretty natural. Good point. Sometimes we can hear the difference between reading and not reading, so that's something to keep in mind when you're getting ready for a speech. So here's what I got for you, Alan. I wrote down 4 supporting points. You said that solar energy reduces your energy bill. You can save power on sunny days and save it for those days that are cloudy. That was your part of your counter argument. And then it's the third benefit is it doesn't create pollution. And the fourth benefit, there's an opportunity for technology growth when you're using the solar panels. And yes, you had on the other hand, and in addition, the 2 transitions I wrote down. And so let's talk about pronunciation for a minute. I've got a couple of things here. One word is dependence. Dependence. Can you say dependence?
Dependence.
Yeah. Right. That's right. And then another word, cloudy.
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 Oh, cloudy. I said floaty, right?
Yeah. Cloudy.
Cloudy.
And then one, it helps to combat gas emissions.
Okay.
It helps to combat gas emissions.
No.
Okay, and another one, gases are burned. It's burned.
Burned.
Yeah, burned.
Burned.
Okay, and a word that you repeated a lot in your speech, panels.
Panels.
Good. You said panels or something. I don't know. You gave it a good.
I remember you correct me. Monday was our last class.
Yeah.
I forgot the correct pronunciation.
And this is a good point that I want to bring up with you guys. Make sure that if you have a word in your speech that you say 2 or 3 times, double check what the pronunciation is. Because one mistake is kind of okay, but if you keep saying that word over and over in the wrong way, it kind of makes the speech like quality kind of go down. Yeah, so of course we're learning. So for me, because I'm saying, but yeah, you said that word like 4 or 5 times. So panels. Mm-hmm. And the other, yeah, panels, correct. And then the other one was warmth of the sun. Warmth.
Warmth.
Warmth, yeah.
Warmth.
Okay. Great.
Thank you. Thank you. I already liked the words that I didn't pronounce well to make sure I will pronounce it with a correct pronunciation whenever I record your speech.
Oh, you're gonna record it? Because you don't have to record it.
Oh, we didn't have to?
No, because you today in the class.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I thought I thought we need to record it.
No, you just pick.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're actually done after this class. You're done with that because you already gave feedback. You gave feedback on Monday to Lan and you gave feedback to Lucia today. So you're actually done with the whole project.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. All you have to do is give your speech one time and then give 2 students feedback
Feedback.
and
Yes.
then that's it. Okay?
Yeah.
So don't work too hard in my class, okay? We don't want overachievers. I'm just okay. So good job, guys. And remember, we have about 3 more students that are going to be recording their speeches in Go React. So if you have some extra time later this weekend, like Friday or Saturday, to go into Go React speech and listen to other students, they would really appreciate that. But you don't have to do that as long as you've already given feedback to 2 students. So that will be optional. So why don't we do this next? We've got about 20 more minutes. Why don't we go to our book? And I believe it's page 56. Oh. Oh, page 57. Let's go to page 57. By the way, does anybody need to have the answers to page 56? Click on the raise your hand button if you want to get answers to page 56. Because we did not do section 3. If anybody needs those, let me know. Okay,
What
so
page, teacher? Oh, sorry.
well, page 56 is what we did in class, but we did not do section 3 on page 56. So do you guys want the answers to section 3, page 56? That might be helpful to you.
I didn't answer, teacher.
Okay.
Answer this.
Well, I can share the answers with you really quickly. Let me make sure
Okay.
I have the right page here. Okay, it's going to be on the top right side of your screen.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so section 3, page 56, on thinking and talking.
Okay.
Number 2, make a summary of the information. Number 3, making presentations with visuals. Number 4, his study group. Number 5, connect information to their own experience. And number 6, more difficult.
Okay.
Okay, so just to review this whole section here, we're going to look at page 57 at the top. Active learning strategies. We talked about active learning on Monday, so I wanted to show you this orange box at the top. So to use active learning strategies, you can make summaries, charts, diagrams, and notes. And we talked about that Monday. Some of you already do that. Ask questions when you don't understand. I remember several of you said that you do that. The third one is try to connect the information to your own experience. That is something that we usually do naturally when we're listening. We try to process the information according to what we have already experienced to help it make sense to us. And the fourth one is form a study group with other students. Those are some ways to actively learn, okay? So let's just take 2 minutes and I want you to check the boxes on page 57. What do you do? Check your answers. You can say usually or often, or you can check sometimes or rarely or never. Okay, I'll give you a couple minutes to see what you do as far as active learning. Okay, let's see what you guys put. I want to see which one you checked rarely or never. So who wants to share your answer? If you checked rarely or never, which one did you check rarely or never on? Anybody want to share?
I put usually on I make diagrams, charts, and visual help myself remember material
Okay.
and
Dia
diagrams.
right.
Diagrams and material. Is that the correct pronunciation?
Material. Yeah, that's pretty close.
Material. Material. Okay. And something that I rarely do or never do is um ask for help if I need it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. A lot of students don't ask for help because they feel like they might be imposing on their teacher, or they don't want to waste time in class, or maybe they think, well, I just need to figure it out by myself. But yeah, especially my class, I like it when students ask for help. So that's what that little raise your hand button down there is for, even if I'm in the middle of saying something, just click on that. Yeah, so thank you for sharing, Alan. Who else wants to share something that you rarely or never do?
In my case, I often work with other students, never, or rarely.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that is true, especially now that we're online. But sometimes we do get in groups, right? Well, have we
Yes.
gotten in this class we get in groups? What about in the writing class that you do with me, Lucia? Do we do groups? I think
No,
sometimes we do the breakout groups. I think once or twice we've done that. So, but that's rarely, right? So maybe not never, but it's
yes,
rarely that we work with other students. Yeah. Okay.
yes, it's hard.
Okay. So wait our answers and kind of think about the future. Look at this, the whiteboard screen. I have a couple of things that I want us to talk about. Number one, I could do a few things to help myself learn better. I could, and let's see if you can finish this sentence in your own words. Anybody want to share something that they could do better?
Yes, I could do a few things to help myself learn better.
Mm-hmm.
I could try to ask whenever I need help.
Yeah, good.
And I have and to improve our skill, I could try to summarize what I have read.
Okay.
Yes, and I could speed up during class.
Okay. Speak up during class. Okay.
Yes, and I could work with another students.
Work with other students. Good. Other students.
And yeah, write notes and comments on the pages for my set books.
Okay, good. Write notes and comments. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my biggest strategy right there is I write notes and comments. Okay. Yeah, good job, Lon. Okay, now let's think about, look at the bottom, it says real world application. Let's think about for all of these skills, grammar, vocabulary, listening, speaking, reading, writing. Um, let's think of some strategies that may have worked for you. We kind of talked about this on Monday, but we didn't talk about specifically which skill that it would help. Like for example, grammar. The thing about grammar is sometimes it involves memorizing charts and lists of words. Like I can think about the list of plural irregular nouns, and sometimes you just have to write it down or try to memorize how the spelling is. I also, when I think of grammar, I think of the structure of the language, which word comes first, which word comes second, like that. So sometimes with grammar, to improve our grammar skills, we could write the irregular spellings of verbs and nouns. I don't know if that helps you guys, but that's just an example of specifically on each skill, what could we do to help us improve? So does anybody want to try one? You can pick any of these 6 skills and then share some advice about active learning. What could we do to improve this skill? Anybody want to try that?
to improve or learning. Do I need to say learning skills
Learning skills is,
or
we want to pick one of the 6 skills that's at the bottom of page 57. Grammar,
okay
listening, speaking.
to improve our listening skills? We could try to watch English movies
Okay,
or
good.
yeah, English movies.
Okay, so to improve our, we have to say our, not or.
Hour like hour, an hour.
Yeah, the same pronunciation as like
Okay.
1 hour, 2 hours. Okay, good. So to improve our listening skills, we could watch movies in English. Yeah, that's a great idea. Okay, but do you put subtitles at the bottom? Do you think that we should put subtitles there or
Uh,
what?
we could. Well, I used to put subtitles not in Spanish, in English,
Hmm.
and it is just like when I think it's harder to uh to listen, like when it's not a formal conversation. But yeah, sometimes it doesn't need to have subtitles because
Yeah.
what you want to try to improve is your listening, not your writing.
Okay. Yeah, not your reading. Yeah, I think subtitles are good. There's stages that you move through when you're improving your listening. You want to start like level, like the basic level is to listen in your native language and have English subtitles. But you guys are past that. So you moved up to listening to in English, but you have your native language subtitles. That's kind of the level 2. And then from there, you listen in English with English subtitles. And the final stage is in English with no subtitles. So you guys are kind of on the last 2 stages of your listening. So you should be listening with English subtitles only or no subtitles. And but for active learning, remember we're focusing on active learning. We need to be doing something as we are listening. So what can we do while we're watching a movie to help us improve our listening? To make it more active. Do you have any suggestions?
But we could try to pay attention in how they pronounce the word,
Mm-hmm.
and and we could try to make notes if we didn't understand any sentence or something, some unknown word.
Okay. So what about writing down some of those words that you need to work on with your pronunciation? Maybe you could just have a notebook and write down a couple of words as you're watching.
Yeah.
That would help you because then after the movie you can go back and look at those words and practice the pronunciation. Another thing you can do is make a vocabulary journal. So you're watching the movie, maybe you're looking at the English subtitles, and you see a word that you hear a lot, but you don't know what it means. So you can write that word down, and then after the movie, you look in your dictionary or translator for all of those words that you wrote down. So I'm going to write my suggestions here. Make a vocabulary journal as you're watching a movie. Okay. What about talk about or summarize? Talk to another person about the movie. Okay. This would be really challenging, but you could say, "Hey, I just watched the movie Titanic. Have you ever seen it?" And they'll say, "Yeah." And then you can say, "This, my favorite part was," and then you can go through and try to explain what happened during the movie. That actually helps you to bring back to your memory the vocabulary, um, the actions that happened. Anytime you can speak about something, it actually will help you remember that better. And the important thing is not actually remembering the movie, but the important thing is remembering how to talk about the movie, like the language, the, because in your mind you might be translating from your native language. And what we want to do is get that into English and be able to speak in English without thinking in your native language. Okay, so those are two strategies. Does anybody want to try? Let's do maybe one more before we go today. Anybody want to try one of the other skills at the bottom of page 57?
Yes, I improve our skill is speaking skills. I could
Speaking.
speaking skill, yes. Mm, after listening skill and learn vocabulary, I want to practice with speaking skill. I try to find the native speaker
Mm-hmm.
and talk with them uh, many things in the life, like what I do in day, what I thinking and see, and I try to talk with them. I'm a non-Buddhist. They want to ask me about how Buddhist teaching, and I try to talk about that with them, and that help me speak, help me improve my speaking skill. Sometimes I get the wrong message a lot. I have many mistakes
Right.
for pronunciation, and then they help me for feedback.
Okay.
Yes,
So yeah, you are actively looking for opportunities to speak with native speakers.
yes.
Yeah, to talk with them. That's good. Okay, good. So looking for opportunities. This is sometimes hard when your living environment is just one language, your native language, right? Some of
Yeah.
you live with people that speak your native language and they speak your native language. I'm mostly talking about Spanish, but sometimes even Vietnamese is another popular language that, there's places of work where they only speak Vietnamese or mostly Vietnamese. So there can be those challenges that you face, right? Like, where can I
Yes.
go to speak with somebody in English? Does anybody else have an idea that might work to help improve speaking besides finding somebody? Any other
I have,
ideas?
yeah, I have another idea that the the speaker in class that uh, help me practice a lot. Like you give me that you have to go react, you have to go your lab assignment, and
Mhm.
you have to do speech today. Many things that help me a lot with the speak by myself.
Yeah.
I write some of them down and write it down and then practice for like speaking, just speak, not written, and I
Okay.
find in the Google some the new vocabulary, and then I learn them and speak. That helped me a lot.
Okay. So you just speak out loud by yourself.
Yes,
Hey, yeah, sometimes we have to do that, right?
Yeah.
People might think we're crazy, but you know, um, that's whatever us, we do those. So that's another good one. I put 3 strategies for improving your speaking up here on the screen. Um, Look for opportunities on the phone or in stores to ask questions. And I shared this before with students in my other classes that, like, you guys know my husband is not a native English speaker. And one thing that impressed me when I first met him was he would call, his cell phone company and just talk for an hour. I mean, I don't know how he did it, just, but he would just keep asking questions and asking questions. And I was even like, look, hang up the phone. Okay, that's enough. Let these people do their job. But he would just keep asking, he would call and just say, hey, what kind of specials do you have? You know, cheaper, phone service, or what are you offering? What kind of free phones are you offering? I mean, just calling and calling and calling and talking to people. So that is actually a strategy that I learned from him that I think is very helpful because number one, the people have to talk to you. And number two, it's free. So you can call your cell phone service, your electric company. Think about all the services that you pay for, your internet, and maybe you just call them and say, "Hey, I want to check on my bill. I want to make sure that you got my payment." Whatever it is, and if they say, what, I don't, just keep going, just keep trying to talk through it because it's their job to help you and to assist you. And it's a great speaking opportunity because you can't see their face, so it's even more challenging for you. And if you can do 10 minutes a week of talking on the phone about anything, then that will help improve your speaking. Okay. So that's one idea. And also, when you go grocery shopping, talk to somebody, just ask them questions like, can you help me find something? Or what is your return policy on these items? Just practice these questions. And if they say, what? I don't, then that you have to say it a different way. Okay. So you start to learn the best way to say things, the best way to ask questions. So don't be discouraged when people say, what? What? Huh? Don't be discouraged by that. That's actually good for you because that's showing you, okay, I need to say this in a different way. Pronunciation on this word. And you leave the store and you can write notes. Okay, this is how I need to ask this question, because I was asking it the wrong way or whatever. So they can be your teacher. Look for opportunities for native speakers to be your teacher. And number 2, volunteer a few times a month. This is a great way to practice your speaking. I have a lot of opportunities that I recommend students to do. And I have a student from Brazil a few years ago that he took my advice. He started volunteering and he came back a few weeks later and told me that was the best thing that he's ever done for himself is to volunteer. So it really, really changed his life and it started to really improve his speaking, and in this country. So I recommend volunteering if you're not able to work with English speakers. Go somewhere where they are and just give your time and your talents. Even like learn somebody like you live on the in the monastery. Maybe you could teach a class, a meditation class, or a Vietnamese class. I mean, we could find opportunities to do things, in different places. So that's one option too. And then the third option, which is probably the easiest, is to do Rosetta Stone, which is available for all TCC students. Actually, I haven't done this yet for you guys, but I can post this in, where is it going to be? I forgot where they put it, which folder they put it in, but it's in Blackboard, and they have listening and speaking practice that you could do there, where you record your voice and then they like they say the word, you say the word, and you try to match the sound. So that's good for pronunciation. Okay, guys? So how do you feel about it now?
I feel like I need to try new things to
Try
learn.
new things. That's right. Good.
Thank you, teacher. I feel like I have to load same or nervous because when I go to
Yeah.
grocery, I'm just worry about my pronunciation. I
Yeah.
feel like I'm not well at speaking. Now I
Not
want to
good
try.
at
Yes,
speaking.
yes, not good at speaking.
Right, right. But that is a natural, keep telling yourself that's the natural process of learning language is you struggle. And every time you struggle, that's an opportunity for learning. So we have to struggle in order to learn. Just think
Thank
about
you.
children when they're learning to speak. They always say the wrong word and then they get mad because nobody's listening to them. And it's that's the process they have to go through until they can get the proper language. So don't get discouraged if you find impatient Americans who are like, ugh, forget it, and they walk away. Don't get discouraged. Just tell them, hey, that's your loss because I'm a great person and you missed the opportunity to talk to me. Yeah, you just keep going with your progress, and you will get better and better. Just think about my husband. Take him as an example. When he first came to the country, he got lost in the airport in New York
Wow.
just because he couldn't speak English. He was looking around like, okay, I don't know where to go, and he tried to talk to somebody, and they were, and he said, okay, and just sat down. He did not know anything. He missed his flight. Then he finally got out of the airport because he found somebody that spoke French. He saw somebody speaking French, and he like went to them and said, "Hey, you have to help me." So that's the only way he got out of the airport. He would probably still be there today if he didn't find somebody that spoke his language. So that's how bad it was, guys.
Yes.
But now he has a bachelor degree. He's got a
Wow.
good full-time job. Some people talk to him, they can't even tell that he's from another country. They think he's from here. And it's all because of me. No, I'm kidding. It's not me. But of course he's had a lot of practice, right?
Oh,
But that's what it is, guys. You need to keep practicing, hours of practice and um, speaking in conversations with other people. So that's really going to help you um, get to a better place faster.
yes. And how is in that day, teacher?
How old was he?
Yeah, yeah, on that day.
He,
In that
he
day.
came he came to this country when he was 23, I think.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I think he was 23. And I met him when he was 23. He had only been here a couple months. I was not his teacher.
Yes.
Okay. But we were both students at a university. So when I met him, his English was still really bad, but somehow he managed to have a long conversation, and we became really good friends. So he's not afraid, basically. He's just not afraid to talk to people. And that was his attitude, and that's how he learned so quickly. So yeah, don't worry when people look at you like, why are you what? Just say, hey, you know what? It's your problem. You can't understand me.
And it happens like a lot when we're learning. Uh,
Yeah,
I was working in a fast food restaurant, and I decided to take the evening shift, evening turn, because I realized that in the evening the employees, they were just native Americans, American native speakers, so they just speak English there, and I
right.
I said working in the morning wasn't helping me because all employees there speak Spanish, so I couldn't. Even I was trying to speak English, but I was learning more Mexican slangs there. So I decided
Right.
to change my shift, and I think it helped me a lot last
Wow.
semester. I learned a lot, and yeah, at the beginning, all people said like, what are you talking about?" and something like that, and it was embarrassing at the first
Right.
times, but I was like, "No, you need to understand what I'm talking about. Let
Right.
me try with other words, or yeah, something like that."
You need to
That's right.
understand. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes you need to convince them, like, no, I have something very important for you. Just listen.
Yes,
And let your great personality just attract people to you, because you guys are great people to talk to. So when you're opening up and you're asking questions like, do you go to school, or, what are your hobbies? What do you like to do? Did you watch the last football game or whatever? Just starting conversations is really great because people like to talk about themselves. So, you ask them questions, and then find out whatever's going on. And also try to work in a place that you want. Like if you want to be a manager or you want to be a teacher one day, try to find a place that you can work in that can help you gain the knowledge and the vocabulary that you need for that place. So let's say you want to work in a bank and you want to be a manager. Try to go there and do any type of job there, even if you're just volunteering. I mean, find a way to get into that place because now I bet you, Alan, you have a lot of vocabulary when it comes to restaurants. You know all of the appliances. You know how to use the cash register. You know how they do things in the restaurant. So you learn that vocabulary because you were there. So that's another tip that I give students is go and work or volunteer in the place that you want to work in, or move up in later on in your life to start gaining that vocabulary. Like I had a student from Costa Rica a few, and in her country, she was a preschool teacher. And she came here. She did not have, like, she was dependent. Her husband worked here, but she didn't have the ability to work. So she just started volunteering at a school, a preschool, and they used her as an assistant teacher in the preschool, and they liked her so much they asked her to come back the next year. And so she was bilingual, which is good for schools. They look for bilingual people. But she also had a preschool experience. So she was learning all the vocabulary, all of the ways of talking to kids in English, right? And she's trying to continue her degree here and then get the ability to work. So she already has experience, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's something for you guys at your stage is, you know, finding a place where you can gain the knowledge and the experience that you need while you're still learning English, you know, while you're still studying. Until you have a bachelor degree and then say, okay, I'm ready to work, it's not going to be good. You need to start getting experience now. Okay, so well, that turned into a lot of advice.
Yes.
Lesson has nothing to do with the environment or chapter 2, but that's okay. Well, we are done for today, guys. So anybody have questions or comments about what's coming up this week or anything else before we go?
No question.
No, teacher, not me.
Okay, so the practice speech is your homework. And I would like this in the Blackboard lesson, but as I'm looking now, I'm thinking about this. I would like for you to kind of look at page 60 and 61 sometime before next Monday and get some time, if you have some time, to watch the video transportation, because next week we're going to start talking about transportation. Yay, I'm so excited. Not really. So that's next week. We're starting chapter 3. Okay, and oh yeah, you guys have your chapter 2 test or quiz. Make sure you do your listening quiz. Okay, that's going to be posted in Blackboard. You put your answers in Blackboard. All right. And so thank you for joining me today and on your speeches, everybody. You guys did great.